Welcome back for another episode of Dr. Jea and JP's Vidcast, a series of video podcasts designed to disrupt your current ways of thinking and breathe new perspectives into your life.
This week and over the next 2 weeks, we're going to focus our vidcasts on the topic of self-love. Recently, I had the great privilege of being up in a beautiful cabin overlooking Lake Dillon, and inside the cabin were loads of bookshelves filled with books. Many of which were from decades before I was born. So I was hugely curious in the evenings when I'd settle in and pick books from the shelves. And I came across a title that captured my attention. It was How to Save Your Own Life. And then when I pulled it out, I realized it was by a woman named Erica Zhang. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, never heard of her. And curiosity got the best of me. I opened up to just a random page, and the page I happened to open to said, "Why is it harder to leave a loveless marriage than a loving one? Because a loveless marriage is born of desperation, while a loving one is born of choice." And I thought to myself, this is about something bigger than marriage. This is really about the core of relationships being rooted in self-love. So let me read this again, replacing the word marriage with the word relationship. Why is it harder to leave a loveless relationship than a loving one? Because a loveless relationship is born of desperation, while a loving one is born of choice. And that when we're engaged in loving relationships, we are the one making the choice about how we show up, how we interact, and what types of relationships we'll accept in our lives and what types of relationships we will not accept.
And it makes me think of, I found a meme too, it's kind of along the same line, so let me read this one to you as well. I know, all these little memes that you find. This one says, "The best way to be happy with someone is to learn to be happy alone. That way the company will be a matter of choice and not necessity." So it almost is along the same lines.
That's powerful. As you consider the relationships that you have in your life as you're watching this vidcast, I also want to introduce another concept that I came across reading Dr. Henry Cloud's The Power of the Other. He categorizes relationships into 4 connection corners. In corner 1 are relationships where there's no connection at all. Corner 2 discusses the types of relationships where there's a bad connection. We've all kind of seen those unhealthy relationships where you're like exhausted by the end of the encounter. Corner 3 are relationships where there's a fake connection or non-authentic connection. And in corner 4 are relationships where you have a sincere, meaningful connection with the individual.
And real quick, I just thought to myself, I've heard of good connections, bad connections, or no connection, never heard of fake connection. That's really interesting. So I think to myself, how can we engage in those sincere connections? Because I don't think anyone goes out there looking for fake connections,
Tonight I'm gonna go find the fakest connection possible.
Right? Tell me you love me. So I think back to our topic of self-love over these next few vidcasts, and if we are looking to have deep-rooted and sincere connections with individuals, it has to start with self-love.
So with that, it is homework time. Self-love. I want you to go right now and write down 10 things you love, love, love about your amazing self. And don't tell me you can't think of them, because we know you are absolutely amazing. That's why we're here. That's why we do these vidcasts, is because we want to elevate the amazing in the world. So, not 2, not 3, don't stop at 5. Your magic number is 10. Identify 10 things that you absolutely love about yourself. This is a week where you can go ahead and do extra credit. If you can think of 12, 15, 20, the more the better. Post them on a sticky note in your mirror so that if you're ever feeling down or distracted, you can look at them, or write them in your journal in a place where you can refer to them anytime you're feeling kind of icky and you need a reminder of who you actually are in your heart and soul. And also, I would invite you to encourage others to do the same. Find your friends and cherished ones. JP, would you please write down 10 things you love about yourself? I watched this vidcast and learned that self-love is actually the core to happy relationships, and I want to see more positive relationships in the world, more love in the world. And so invite those that you cherish to engage in the activity as well. Maybe even start the conversation by giving a compliment.
Awesome. So for that, go out there, shine light and love and joy into the world, and we'll see you in a week.